Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am your host, the most famous YouTuber in the world that no one has ever heard of. Welcome back, everybody. I'm going to apologize up front for the fan noise. I'm going to try and take that out. If I don't, here's the reason. I've got a fan blowing on the wood stove. We are working on Model T stuff again today. We have a Bosch front plate being greened.
It's not easy being green.
Now we have enough parts, and I have a model to go by. So we've got two front plates like you saw in the last video. If you didn't see the last video, go back to the last video because it is part of this whole process here. I've also got a brand new factory 009 from EMPI. This doesn't have any markings on it, so I'm going to assume that this is a Chinese replacement. So what we've got here is the plate that we're going to use as a model. And one of the first things that the parts vendor told me when I ordered this is the shaft, 2 gears, the shaft for this particular setup, which is a reproduction of a Bosch front plate accessory distributor from Model T. It's a lot of words. So we've got this. This is straight out of a Volkswagen, or straight, supposed to go into a Volkswagen. And then we've got this one that apparently has a washer that was made by metal-eating beavers. Good grief. And then pounded on by cavemen on the other side, and it is sharp. After that, we have this clamp. But what I'm curious about is this machine part. This was remachined after. You can tell if you go side by side with the Volkswagen, they don't match. Anyway, as you can see, this groove for the O-ring has been made larger. And they did it so this bolt will sit in there and keep it from popping out. I use that bolt to lock it down so it can't turn. So what we need to do is figure out where that hole on this is and if it's big enough. So I've still got our friend from Performance T Parts here. And I compare that to this one, and this one appears to be stock. We'll find out more when we pull that O-ring off. So my first step is my first thought is to put this in here and see where it lines up. And we're about, the hole is right about there between my fingernails. I don't know if it'll focus or not. So that bolt is going to be on here and hanging off. Half of it's going to be hanging off into the void, which I believe is why they machined it up. Do I have to machine it up? I don't know. If I have to, I will. We have the technology. We can rebuild it.
Gentlemen, we can rebuild him. We have the technology.
It's a nice O-ring. I'm going to save that. Square O-ring. I think we're in the same spot now as that one, so let's try it. It wouldn't go in with the O-ring on it. Or maybe it will. Yep, same thing. I don't know if you can see in that hole or not. I'm going to try and slowly move it. I can get one frame so you can see what I'm talking about. Hopefully that's enough. I don't know. I think this, half the end of the bolt is going to be on there. Why do I need to change it? Okay, so worst case, we're going to have to do this. Best case, we're going to use it as it is. The other thing we need to do is we need to get this spiral thingy off the bottom to get to that pin to pound out. Well, that wasn't hard. That wasn't hard at all. Little clip. It's a slinky. Alright, let's tap that out. A little tap, tap, taparoo.
Just tap it in. Just tap it in. Give it a little tappy. Tap, tap, taparoo.
Little tap, 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 taparoo. Oh. Didn't need to tap it. Huh. Okay. Well, that comes off. There's a washer there. Setting all that aside. Looks like there's another washer. Set that aside. Probably reuse those if the new shaft allows. Cam nut. We'll get into that when we put it on. Here's the shaft we need. It's the gears we need. I don't see a roll pin. Lucky for me, I have a box of them. This one's cut off, so I must have used it for something like this at one point. There we go. There's one. Yep. Alright, we got it. There's our roll pins. Now before we get too carried away with these, and that, let's take this apart and do a little modification. Which was the whole point. Oh, look at that, the color matched. Look at that. Alright, we're going to take this apart like we did this one here. And we got to do our spring thing. Want to watch that on camera again, or do you want to go to the other video? A little interesting development here. This one only has one spring on it. There normally would be. Normally on the, you have another spring from here to here. This has just got the one, but it's the stiff one that I don't want. So we're going to change that out. New springs in. I just got to put it back together again. If you assemble these things for a living, more power to you. This is terrible. Wait, I assemble these things for a living. Pity me. Pity me. Guess I've had too much caffeine today. Wow. Okay, that's in. We need to get our gears out. Okay, that must be the one. It's going to go there. Our roll pin's going to go through. And it looks like it's designed to have a clip go around it like that other one. Or maybe I'll just put a little Loctite in the end. Roll pins aren't going to come out anyway. They expand. They can't come out. That's the whole point. That is going to go in there. See? I'm getting down on inventory here. We are through. Just I'm going to cut that off. Okay, round it off. We're good. crooked, but it's holding in there. Seems to be going in. And we're coming out the other side. We're in. We're in. Points are opening and closing. We're good. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, we need to be way higher. There we go. Okay, that's where the gear needs to be. Let's see. How far do we have to be here? Okay, that much. Going to need a spacer at the top. So that gear rides in line with the Boozabajigger. Let's see where this one is. We need to be up here. So it looks like that washer is what we need. We will see in a minute.
Many hours later.
Okay, it's a new day. I don't know where I left off. I believe we had a need for spacer, so I whipped that up on the lathe last night. So we'll throw that on like that. I got the cover painted. I think that looks pretty snazzy. So let's drop this in here. Do a test fit. This one's a little stiff. Oh, that actually raised it up, so we're on. Let me put a dot on that so we can see. Let's check this out. There's our dot. We don't even need to machine this. And in theory, if I might be wrong, I don't know. But in my head last night, I was trying to figure out if this, when the cam gear turned, if it was going to squirt it up or if it was going to squirt it down. But the engine rotates this way, the cam gear rotates this way, so this would be actually pulling this in, not trying to push it out. So we don't even need to do this machining. We don't need to. This one's not machined either. The other one was. Don't even need to do it. So this is going to go in here. Of course, going to put some grease in there. And then that will probably end up somewhere in that orientation. And that's it. A little bit of grease. Our hole is lined up with the cam gear a little bit. Yep, it looks okay when I'm straight on at an angle. It does. You're at an angle. I don't know how well it's going to come out on camera, but this does line up with that. Yeah. So we'll have a bolt for that, and that'll stop it from turning. We also need to rob the fan adjustment bolt off the other plate that we're going to take off the car. So let's put some grease on it, and in the next video we are going to install this in the car. So if you're interested in this, if you want to see how it's put on the car, next video we're going to remove this front plate. We're going to take off the pulley, remove the front plate, and install the Bosch front plate assembly onto the car. So if you like this video, hit the like and subscribe. Leave a comment. It does help. But yeah, we're going to call it here. I'm going to take this out so I don't forget to grease it. We're going to call it a day on this video, and I will see you in the next one.